Ladies and gentlemen, and we back. The NBA offseason can now officially begin as of 2 days ago. One thing I don't understand, this has basically nothing to do with this. Why does Shams love breaking trades in the middle of the night? He broke the Luca trade and at like midnight also, and the topic of today, the Giannis trade, he also broke at 11:59. I don't know why obviously it's not his fault. I don't know why the GMs are talking at 11 o'clock or midnight I don't know why. It's just odd to me why they break trades in the middle of the night. I don't feel like you ever see this in other sports. I feel like NFL trades are broken in the middle of the day. And like same with MLB trades. I feel like the NBA is the only sport I've ever seen where trades are broken in the middle of the night. It's just odd. Anyway, but yes, today's topic. The Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes have finally come to an end. The Greek freak, the man who is a freak on the court and a freak in the... Never mind, I'm not going to finish that joke, actually. Giannis is now officially a member of the Miami Heat. Him and Bobby Portis were traded to Miami for Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Kasparis Yakashonis, the number 13th pick in the draft that just concluded. Well, the first round just concluded. I'm recording this on Tuesday. So that turned out to be Nate Amit. First round picks in 2031 and 2033, a pick swap in 2030, and a second round pick in 2033. So what does this do for both sides? Well, the Miami Heat, in my opinion, the losers of this trade. Now, obviously, I have to put air quotes around it because it is Giannis. You can't lose but so much when you acquire one of the top 5 best players in the world. The problem, however, is that this roster is not a top 5 roster in the world. Matter of fact, it's probably not top 28. You look at this, I'm not going to go that far. They're probably not a top 20 roster, right? So it goes Bam, Giannis, Simone Fontecchio, Myron Gardner, Vladislav Golden. I'm sorry, number 50. I'm trying. But he's not under contract. Kashad Johnson, Nikola Jovic, Trevor Keels, who is not under contract as well. Pele Larson, Davion Mitchell, Bobby Portis, Norman Powell, Drew Smith, Andrew Wiggins, and Jameer Young, who is also not under contract. In case you weren't paying attention, this team is not very good. Yeah, like once you move past Bam and Giannis, it gets rough. Like really rough. This is not the same version of Andrew Wiggins in 2019 that was an all-star. Norman Powell's a bucket, but will we continue to see that? I don't know. And then, yeah, your starting point guard is Davion Mitchell. No shade at Davion Mitchell, but yeah, I don't know about this team. And to make it slightly worse, I guess, I'm sorry. The Miami Heat total salaries add up to $190.7 million. That puts them only $18.1 million under the first apron. So they have $18 million to fill 4 roster spots. Now, obviously, they could go over the first apron, but they're probably not going to want to because that comes with a lot of fines and just so much other stuff that I'm sure the owners don't want to deal with. So they have 18 million to fill these 4 spots. They're not going to be able to do but so much. And I question why Giannis wanted this. Because he's just going to a Miami Heat team where he's just going to be doing what he did in Milwaukee, and that's lose. Frankly put, they're just going to lose. Now, I don't know. I would have to come back on this. They might have their own first round pick next year. So if this team is below average, they will have decent odds. So Giannis just needs to stay healthy for them to have good odds to get the first pick, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. So I personally don't love this trade for either side. And then actually let's get into why I don't love this trade from Milwaukee here. So Milwaukee, with the 13th overall pick that they received in this trade, took Nate Amit. The rest of the roster is Braden Berrios, who they also selected tonight, Ousmane Dieng, AJ Green, Gary Harris, Tyler Hero, Andre Jackson, Kasparis Yakashonis, Jaime Jaquez, Kyle Kuzma, Pete Nance, Kevin Porter, Torian Prince, Ryan Rollins, Cormac Ryan, Jericho Sims, Gary Trent, Miles Turner, who they still could be shopping, and Khalil Ware. Cormac Ryan is not under contract. Pete Nance is not under contract. And that's it. I guess Alex Antetokounmpo's not under contract, but who cares? But this team is probably much worse than the Miami Heat team. Like, this roster is not good. Now, obviously, their one huge upside is they have a ton of young talent. Ned Mintz, 19. Tyler Hero. Oh, wow. Tyler Hero's 26. I didn't know he was that old. Jaime Jaquez is 25. Wow. Kelly Ware's 22. We found something. But the problem with this trade for the Bucks is that you can't be but so bad with the new lottery odds, right? So if you're a bottom 3 team, you have worse odds to get the first overall pick than if you're is it 4 through 9 place team? I don't know for sure what the new lottery odds look like, but it's really weird. But this Bucks team's not going to win. They're just not going to win a ton of games. So they have worse odds to get a top pick to help reset the franchise. Which, this trade is very odd to me. I guess they're banking on the 2031 and 2033 first round picks because they're hoping Giannis will stay in Miami and they'll be decent. The true upside that I see in this trade for the Bucks is, I guess, an X factor is Kel'el Ware. Now, I talked about Kel'el Ware a while ago, I believe, and it was that Eric Spoelstra didn't seem to truly want to trust him. It seemed like at points he was, but also there was points, I think it was in Summer League, that he would yell at him and then take him out of games for making one small mistake and then go to the media and be like, hey, he's just one of those guys you got to yell at. You got to really be aggressive with when coaching. But it just seemed to me like Eric Spoelstra didn't trust him. Now, obviously, I'm not one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time, so I don't fully know what I'm talking about. That's just what it seemed like from my perspective. And I think Kel'el Ware has a ton of upside being only 22, and he's not going to learn much. I guess the little bit of time he's behind Miles Turner, maybe he gets there and they talk a little bit, but Miles Turner's on the block as well, and they probably won't receive much for that. The good thing, though, for Milwaukee is the salary cap situation. Their total salaries are $168.3 million. This puts them barely above the salary cap, and they have 17 out of 15 people rostered, so they need to cut 2 people anyway, or, slim the roster down. And this is, actually, they'll lose those with Pete Nance and Cormac Ryan, so I believe they'll be at 15 out of 15. And sitting around, we'll say $165 million. They'll be nowhere near anything, really. They'll be at the salary cap, basically. So this team is not going to be very expensive. And they, next year, can maybe go do something. You never know, really. So, let's get my last thoughts on this. So, I don't love it for either side. I'll be honest. It's good for the other 28 teams in the NBA. But it's not good for either team involved in this trade because now everybody can do things, let's get it going, let's get the ball rolling. We've seen Jaylen Brown's name pop up in trade rumors. Free agency is going to start rolling, obviously after the draft is fully concluded, but everything can now go that the Giannis sweepstakes have ended. Just not for either one of these teams. Because the Bucks they're not going to want to go spend any money because they're now in officially their rebuild. And the Heat are going to want to, but they don't have any money to spend. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't see either of the teams being very good this upcoming season, but that's okay for the Bucks. It's not for the Heat, but whatever. We'll see what happens. As always, thank y'all for watching. And remember, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a microphone and an opinion. Peace out.